Hey guys, Darin Benton again with Performance Motorcoaches. Happy Labor Day. We are back here in the toy box. We're here at the dealership here in Texas. We try to keep everything indoors. We have pretty inclement weather out here. Additionally, it kind of lets us control inventory, not having just random people walk through. There's always people that want to see these units, but it's nice to be able to control the people that go through them. So we got several different storage units here. We keep them in. We brought some units back in here. Several classics, and then we do have this little Valencia, and that's the video that we'll be going over today. It's a 2023 Valencia. Now I got to tell you, they've done a tremendous job in regards to the interior and exterior colors. They kind of put them on the next level. I've struggled with the Valencia line in that the color of the cabinetry was somewhat dated, and they did a phenomenal job on the 2023. So let's go ahead and jump into it. The paint scheme, I like it. Some people might not like it. They might think it's a little loud, but it's, to me, it's kind of it blends in with what you see in the rest of the RV industry. There's lots of designs and graphics to it. This is called the Burnout edition. So it's the color, and as far as the graphics themselves, they're the same all the way across the product line. It's just colors that distinguish one from the other. Now, they did redesign the front cap up here. They kind of took what they did with the Verona, and then of course the Verona LE in 2023 will have that same type design cap. So just a little bit sleeker look, less U-Haul truckish. There is a window there, which obviously I'm not a big fan of the windows. I think it's just another thing to potentially break. Lets a lot of heat in, but I'll tell you, we've had some great luck with ceramic window tinting. So my recommendation would be to do some kind of ceramic window tinting up there, and just make sure you have the air conditioner turned on high. So this is a 38BB. This actually measures a little bit over 38 feet, but this is the Bunkhouse version. All the Valencias will be on the S2RV, which is basically a Freightliner M2 that Freightliner said, hey, we're going to design this specifically for the RV industry and sell it only to the RV industry. So you could buy this same truck in just an M2 106. You can tell it's a little bit lower stance. If you were looking at, say, the Verona and up, there's actually a little filler piece right here. The unit sits up a little bit higher, but the S2 is kind of it's their first addition into a truck type motorhome. 6.7 liter, so it's the Cummins ISB, 360 horse, and I believe 860 foot-pounds of torque for the 2023. Does have an Allison 3000 series transmission. What they did to make it more RV specific was they did a 100-gallon fuel tank rearward to the axle, so you don't have the dual 50 gallons up front. Have a much larger cab cutout from the factory. They ship the batteries loose, and I know there's one other thing, maybe I'll remember, but the big deal is the fuel tank, the larger Allison, and the big cab cutout on the back. You can see, I'm 6 foot tall, so it's much larger than, like your F550s, but it's not so over daunting, or, so daunting, similar to like some of the Cascadias that we have here that are substantially taller. So this is good for somebody that's going to jump from a gas class C into their first diesel. These have had phenomenal resale. People will generally seek out the Renegade line. They don't build too many of them, so it's a good product to be able to get into if you're not wanting to spend that $500,000-600,000. These generally, the Valencias will be in the mid-2 range, just kind of as a general price point on them. Let's go ahead and jump down. 2023, they also did the Truma Go, so no longer any kind of a traditional water heater, so that's kind of an on-demand. They have gone through last few years and done a little accumulator tank in there, so you don't get the varying temperatures, the hot, the cold, if you are trying to conserve water. Traditionally, these instant hot water heaters only worked really well if you were running a fair amount of water, but with the accumulator in there, that makes it pretty handy. And then, of course, to do any kind of winterization, makes it really handy. You just open that guy right there, and then you're good to go. Drains all the water out. So the idea kind of back behind this is only propane. So as long as you have water, you should have a hot shower with that system. I believe they went to Xantrex inverters on all the Valencia, and that is correct. Should be a 2800 watt Xantrex. Does have the Giboni solar controller. This does have 175 watt panels up there. For somebody that have seen our other videos, we've done a lot of upgrades with the Victron system, so it'd be pretty easy to take and upgrade any of that stuff to a full Victron system. Right here, these are just some slide locks that I'm not a big fan of, but to get them out of the way. And then this little air hose right here is designed to be able to inflate your tires off the factory compressor on board. Nice little, I call that a 3/4 pass-through right there. So, you know, if you had like a larger table, take and be able to slide that in there. Does have an outdoor TV. So on any of the Valencia line, they'll have just the Insignia, all the Insignia TVs and sound bars. Once you get up to the Verona, that'll jump up to the Samsung TVs. A little sound bar there, and then this does come out. So if you need to put out a little bit of an angle, you could take and do that. Girard awning up top there, and there's a wind sensor located inside. So come back over here, no 3/4 pass-through rearwards of the axle on these, but decent amount of storage on both of those. And then there is a small little quick disconnect for propane. So if you had, say, a Blackstone grill or some kind of a fire pit, it'd be pretty simple. Take this little turnout out and be able to open this dude up, and then just have a quick disconnect right there for your propane line. Run around back here. I have a 12,000 pound capacity hitch. You know, there's guys that put more weight on these. Really, if you plan on anything more than about a 10 or 12,000 pound trailer, I would really recommend getting up to that Verona. There's guys that do it, but I would not recommend it. Redesigned rear cap to kind of integrate with what they did up on the front caps. Just kind of a newer overall design. Like I said, it was, in my opinion, it was a much needed advancement in the product, because they really hadn't changed that Valencia product since it came out. I think it was 2017 they came out with that Valencias. So transfer switch right back here, and then you do have your automatic cord reel right there, manual to pull out, automatic back in. Just a simple little 110 connection there, but if you need to be able to do like a 30 or 50 amp connection, we could easily add something like that to the back compartment here. 8K gen, which will be standard all the way up to the Explorer line. So from the, in fact, all the way down to the Veracruz, which are on the F550, 8K gen, very serviceable item. They're used every single day in the RV industry. Really easy to get your hands on parts there. It does pull off of the factory fuel tank. Nice clean wet bay. Of course, all the baggage doors are built the same all the way across the product line, from their Sprinter line all the way up to their Icons. So 75 gallon gray, 75 gallon black. Really easy to use wet bay here. Everything's water jetted in the panel there, and they did go to sea level monitoring on the 2023s. Got away from that 3366 in full that was very aggravating. There are 12 volt heat pads on the bottom of the gray black water tank. There's not any kind of heat source in the wet bay there. So propane tank right here. Be easy, if you needed to, if you were staying at a location for a long distance, be able to put a T in there to be able to run a longer off an auxiliary propane tank. So this is the only option for lithium upgrade on the Valencia line. There's two 100 amp hour batteries there, which should do a pretty good job. It does have the Victron shunt. There again, if a customer needed to upgrade to additional batteries, we just have to be able to store those batteries elsewhere. Really easy to get in and out of the cab. Several handles to be able to maneuver your way in and out of the cab. All the cabs start base blacks. They don't do any kind of paint work inside your door jamb, but it's still a nice clean look. We'll go ahead and jump inside. They didn't change the entry door width on the Valencia. They did on some of the higher line product. So still using just a one-piece sheet vinyl floor from front to back. Maybe that will change in time. Don't necessarily know, but it's a nice kind of a gray tone. In fact, This is Hampton Interior, so a lot more grays, a lot more light tones, and less browns inside. So it does have the option for the theater seats right here. If a person needed to be able to take those out and put a couch, we could easily change those out. The Valencia, that was a big deal as well for the 2023, as they went to this much larger picture window setup right here. You do lose some space here, but just to be able to see out there makes it really nice. So I kind of walked through. You can see you can get to your washer dryer, you get to your fridge, you can get to your bath here, and you get to your bunks all while everything's closed up. And technically, if you needed to jump in bed, say if you were at an overnight parking spot where you didn't want to run your sides, you could still be able to lay down all the way on the bed and still have a fair amount of room here. We'll go ahead and get all the slides opened up. You can see here a little bit the new design for the aero cap here. It does have the window. There's a little roller shade there. There we go. Block some of that sun out. We've seen guys go through there and put some reflective type material on top of any kind of window tinting there, so you can still block out some of the sun if it's relatively hot. This does glide back and forth. Of course, this is standard for all of the 2023 Valencia line. The nice thing about this is if you don't need this for any kind of sleeping, you could be able to take some of this stuff out, be able to put some additional storage here. Just have the option for the TV here, in addition to this TV here, and that TV that will come away from the wall and kind of pivot. The driver and passenger seat are air ride, and they do take and flip around as well. Standard, the Garmin GPS that they've had for quite some time, all the cameras are integrated into that as well. We could easily go through and do a separate monitor for somebody that wants to use something else beyond that. No Apple CarPlay yet in those guys. Maybe in due time we'll have some Apple CarPlay, but most people end up using their phone for GPS, so I'm not a big fan of the Garmin setups right there. Hydraulic levelers, equalizer, decent size, really good system in regards to leveling the coach, and if you needed to, you can actually raise the coach off the ground and be able to change a tire in an emergency. Manual theater seats on the Valencia line. You need to go up to the Verona LE to go to an automatic, but improved furniture from the previous Valencia and the Verona line. Just a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more refined as well. Decent sized storage here and there. We'll come back to the cabinets. There again, kind of getting away from all of those reds and brown tones, more of a light tone to it. So all of the countertops will be the same all the way across the product line. All solid surface, and then it'll have flush sink and then flush cooktop as well. Get this opened up. It's actually a 3-burner setup here, and then these are designed to go there in the back for storage. Has two 15,000 BTU Coleman Mach air conditioners. They do have the condensate pumps built in, so whenever they do condensate that doesn't run off the roof itself, it'll actually collect and go underneath the coach. Standard residential refrigerator. Like I said, the Insignia line will be pretty much all the way across the product line for the Valencia, TVs included. Does have washer dryer on board here. If somebody needed additional storage, we could easily pull those out and do some additional storage inside here. You could actually technically do a combo unit. It would be a washer dryer all in one to be able to have half this space there. Pocket door to be able to isolate this portion, and then you have another pocket door that would isolate the master. So you have a little bit of open area right there, but that's just the inherent nature of these particular floor plans. We'll come in the mid bath here. I guess technically the only bath. Decent sized room in here, decent sized shower as well. Sit down toilet, got a fair amount of room on each side here. Pretty deep cabinets there. And then I'm right about 6 foot tall, so a fair amount of room inside here as well. This is a slide bar here, makes it handy if you're trying to wash a dog or wash your kids off as well. We'll come back here to the master. The freshwater tanks are located below the bed here. This is the Valencia Bunkhouse is the only product that does not have a bed slide. So all this is fixed, and so you do get this additional storage with the Bunkhouse. If it was any other product, you wouldn't have the storage right here, but the bed would go out there. So you got two 75-gallon water tanks right there. There is a Firefly panel right over the top here, so you could take and turn all the lights off. Be able to turn your generator on and off as well. So let me see if I'm smart enough to do the lights. Master. They did not do. Well, let me try this. There we go. So it does have master there. You have one thing that I noticed for 2023. They actually did the USB-Cs in addition to your regular USB, and anywhere you sit, anywhere you sleep. So you don't have to worry about using any kind of adapter. You don't have to wait for the long times of the old style USB plug there. So they've done this on all of the Valencias all the way up to the Explorers. Make that to where you could take and pull that, and if you utilize it like a large laundry hamper below there. Drawers over here, hanging there, and then another Insignia TV up front. All in all, very happy with the color schemes for the 2023 line. I think that will entice a lot of the buyers that potentially were looking at some of the the Jayco line or the Integra line that weren't just too happy with the interior and exterior colors. So happy to have some of these units. Don't know when the next unsold Valencia will be coming along, but currently, as of Labor Day, this Valencia is available. So make sure you guys check out our website. It's pmcrv.com. Make sure you guys keep on coming back, liking, tagging, and subscribing.